Hello beans, I'm going to try and have a little bit more structure to these videos. So we are in week 8 of my training block for the Saddleworth 10 Res Mountain Marathon. I have run 3 times this week so far out of 4 days. We're on Thursday and we're at a total of 33 kilometers for the week. The target distance for this week is 81 kilometers. I have a 26 kilometer long run tomorrow, 10k easy on Saturday, and then 12k easy on Sunday. This week hasn't been ideally structured because on Monday we were travelling back from Scotland, so I did not run because I would have had to get up really early to get a run in before we started travelling, and frankly I was not in the headspace to run when we got back. It was a long drive. So unfortunately I haven't done any kind of tempo run this week. I ran an easy run on Tuesday and then I did a hill rep session yesterday. So that was, the meat of the session was 5 times 60 to 90 second hill reps, and then I just made up my 11k total distance with my kind of warm up and cool down from the hill reps themselves. Because of traveling on Monday, I didn't do my normal strength training session on Monday, so I did do it on Tuesday morning instead, which was not ideal because my legs were then really quite fatigued for the hill reps on Wednesday, but what can you do? I'm now moving into more of like a speed development phase of the training block. So the strength training I'm doing is kind of focused on developing my force production capabilities. So my strength training is going to be for the next 3 weeks comprising of like mostly supersets, starting off with a really heavy weight and then immediately following it with like something that's more explosive and a bit lighter, and then doing another set of supersets after that with single-legged exercises. I will go over that in more detail in either next week or the week after. I haven't decided yet, but I'll go over like what the strength training involves for this bit of the training block, and why I'm doing it that way. So that's basically the summary of this week so far. I feel generally fine. Legs are pretty sore at the minute. I think just from having to like condense a bit more than I would normally condense into the first 4 days, and with my strength training not having been like optimally positioned in the week. But yeah, generally feel fine. Long runs are feeling fine, even though they're getting slightly longer every 2 weeks. I'm kind of not really increasing the distance of the long run by any more than 2 kilometers at a time, and at the minute I've been leaving it at like the same distance for 2 weeks in a row before increasing it, but I am going to start having to increase it kind of 2 kilometers every week shortly. In terms of the new year and any like goals and stuff I've got, obviously Saddleworth 10 Res is a goal that hasn't changed. That's just the same goal that I've had. In terms of other training, I've kind of loosely sketched out training plans for champs races later in the year, and I do actually have a fell running champs race that I have purchased a place for in February, early February, the Longmynd Valleys fell race. I'm a little bit intimidated by it. It's about 19 kilometers with about 1,300 meters of elevation gain. It should be within my capabilities physically. I'm a little bit nervous about the navigation side of things, because there is a lot of following trods, like a lot. And I'm not going to be able to go down and recce it beforehand. So I'm a bit nervous about that. So that's kind of the more immediate goals. Longmynd and Saddleworth. Anything after that I'll talk about after Saddleworth, I think, because there's not really much point in going into detail about things when they're like really far away. But there's a lot of racing planned for this year. A lot. I am now officially freelance as well. I mean, I was doing freelance work previously, but I was also working as a gym instructor still. But I've dropped the gym instructor work now, and I'm just giving myself 6 months to see if I can make the personal training business work. And then if it doesn't work, I guess I'll go back to a normal job. But you don't know if you don't try, so gonna try. All right, that's enough rambling. I will insert some footage of my long run. By the time it's uploaded, I tend to upload the videos on Fridays, so I don't film anything from the weekend, but just to recap, the weekend plan is just a couple of easy runs. There's nothing overly exciting there. If I do decide to go running anywhere like particularly nice, then I might take the GoPro with me and insert it into next week's vlog. But yeah, just park run on Saturday, but I'll run it easy. And then, yeah, I might try and drag Greg out for a run on Sunday and see if he fancies going somewhere like, I don't know, run around Damflask or something like that. It's nice to try and get him out for a run a couple of times a week. Anyway, I will give you some footage of my long run. It's long run day. 26 kilometres on the plan. I'm gonna kind of run up and down a few of the steep bits in one cliff a couple of times. Kind of gonna loop back on myself and redo some of the hills. I'm gonna do the Bikers Classic Strava segment twice, and then there's another like tough uphill segment that I'll do a couple of times, once on the way out and once on the way back. So that's the plan. I'm just gonna have my first bit of nutrition on the run once I finish talking to you, and then not too long after that we'll hit Bikers Classic for the first time. Up we go. Okay, made my way up Bikers Classic and now we're coming down a different route, just back onto the path at the bottom. It's very slippery, there's been a lot of rain, so I'm just kind of going pretty gingerly on the downhills. There's a lot of leaves and they're covering up some of the uneven ground, rocks and things, so just being careful. Got myself a little bit lost and confused there. I'm using mountain bike tracks, but the ones I haven't been up or down before, so just exploring bits of the woods that I'm not familiar with. A little bit apprehensive. So the mountain bike track I came down before coming back up this one is just a river. It's so muddy, it's so slow, and I've got to do it again later in the run, so I'm not excited about that at all. I just recorded a really long-winded ramble while I'm making my way up here, and I feel like it was way too wordy, so I'm just gonna be a bit more concise in the points I was trying to make. Okay, so initially when I was having a think, as I often do when I'm running, I felt confused as to why I do fail running. So I'm autistic, I have ADHD, and as part of the autism side of things, I have a lot of sensory processing issues, and I hate being uncomfortable. Like, discomfort is very difficult to process, and I tend to shy away from it. So it's very odd that my primary pastime involves a lot of discomfort. So, a bit confused about that, but then thinking about it, I think the ADHD balances it out. So fell running, rather than any other kind of running, is different. There's a lot happening, there's a lot of like different things happening to you all the time. You're having to think, you're having to actively process what's going on in front of you, and obviously you get like cool views, explore new places, etc, etc. So I think that's probably why fell running works, where stuff like road running doesn't, because like road running is so boring, just so mind numbing. I hate it so much. I will do road runs if I have to, but I definitely prefer trails and fells, and they definitely seem to work a lot better for me. Anyway, that was a ramble. Don't know if anyone else out there has the same set of neurological conditions that impact their ability to do life. But I don't know, it was interesting to think about. Okay, so feeling very emotional, which is very inconvenient, and I think it's because I keep thinking too much about the fact that these are the kind of like up down that I've done to get here. I'm gonna have to do them again because that's what I've planned into my route. Do them on the way out and on the way back, and I really don't want to. I don't want to do them again because they're so muddy and they're so slow, and it's annoying. So that's poor route planning, because you know, I know that I'm autistic, and I know that I really hate doing things over again. So I should have just not planned the route that way, but I didn't want to drive anywhere today, and if I want to get 26 kilometres from my doorstep, unfortunately redoing bits of Warncliffe is kind of the best way to do it. I've decided not to do a second ascent of the Bikers Classic Strava segment. I just really struggle busing at the minute. I've been kind of on the cusp of feeling like I want to cry a few times. I don't really know why. Like, I know the route I've plotted for myself is annoying, but this is a bit much. Win some, you lose some. So I've got about 7k left, and I'm just gonna carry on, finish it off, do what I can. My legs do feel like lead, so we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I guess I'll get back to you next week with another update, and hopefully things are feeling a little bit better then. We'll see. Thank you for watching and putting up with me rambling, and I will catch you next time.